Welcome to episode 12, season 2 of the NFL Rumors podcast. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. JC, we got some OGs in here. Shout out to you guys. He might be having mic issues. I'm not sure. Let's see. Well, we got a lot to cover anyways. I think there's 38 people in here. That's quite enough to begin. Just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. We got a lot of news happening around the league. Free agency's been nuts, and finally I'm on spring break right now, and due to me working in a school system, I actually get that time off as well. So I have the time to do this podcast, and it's been a few weeks since we've got this out, but we've been wanting to. NFL Rumors, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you all right. Not the best, but there you are. Yeah.
Okay, you should be able to hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, had a little technical difficulty there, but yeah, we was kind of talking, going through some of the free agent signings, some of the latest news. Like earlier, we had Bradley Bozeman of Carolina that just went to the Chargers, so he's going to work on anchoring that line for the Chargers. There, in free agency they added uh, Gus Edwards as one of the running backs, so. I think that when you're looking at that, I think Chargers trying to look at a different feel of things with their team right now. They're still going to need to go get a wide receiver, though. Mike Williams, they still have a little interest in bringing him back, but I would imagine that might not happen because he's going to have a chance to make some money with some other teams.
Yeah, I mean, I would rule out the Chargers. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I'm sure they're still an option, but I just don't see that being anything. Honestly, I think he meets with the Jets today, or he did meet with the Jets today, and then the Panthers, or it may be Panthers, then Jets, and then the Steelers. Not sure the order, but I imagine he won't get far past those teams. One of those teams is likely to pay him the big bucks.
Definitely. I think so too, Tanner. He's going to visit with the Jets. We'll see if they get a deal done. The Panthers seem very interested. They're also meeting with Michael Gallup as well. So they're looking at some more wide receiver options for Bryce Young. One of the things I'll say is the Patriots are the ones that surprised me a little bit. I know I like the KJ Osborne signing. I think he could, shine there. But he's not what I would call like a one. With Minnesota, he was more of a 2-3 wide receiver. But so they're going to look at definitely Patriots. I could definitely see them being in the market for another wide receiver. There've been a lot of rumors around T. Higgins there, but I don't know if they'll be able to make it happen.
Now, T. Higgins is an interesting one. He's playing on the franchise tag, but I do think tagging and trading him is still a likely option for him and for the team. Now, I'm not sure if I would see the Patriots pulling the trigger on that. I don't know. Do you think they would really do that?
I think they could. I really do. I think that could be a definitely option that they do. I know a lot of the Patriots are recruiting him there. It'll be interesting to see he did request a trade from the Bengals. Really, when you look at the two teams, Carolina saying they're still wanting a wide receiver if they were able to go get T. Higgins. You're looking at some of those other ones, Tanner, as well, like the Patriots. You're looking maybe even the Cardinals. Man, Cardinals could probably use a good wide receiver, and they could have the money to pay him. But also, the Cardinals are slated to pick Marvin Harrison Jr. as well.
Yeah, I know that's a hot topic for them, and picking Marvin Harrison Jr. I also saw this little theory floating around that the Patriots and what team was it? Someone that just made a trade. Patriots and the Vikings had some kind of deal to where if they signed KJ Osborne, it would give the Vikings like a compensatory pick, which they would then use to trade back to New England to trade up for the draft spot to pick up JJ McCarthy. I'm hearing a lot about his name to Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings definitely a lot of smoke around JJ McCarthy. The other name that's got a lot of smoke around it's Drake May to the Vikings. Drake May has a great relationship with McCown there, so I would just say, looking at that, I would look for those two people to go to Minnesota. In my
And I can
opinion.
tell you right now, I have a direct source with Drake May's camp. So I can gather more information on that for sure. And I can tell you right now, after Pro Day, I'll have a lot more information. But I think that, yeah, you're right about that. JJ McCarthy, Drake May are top names right now linked to Minnesota, but I will have way more information. I want to say his Pro Day is March 28th, so about 10 days. And then I would say like maybe a day or two after that, I got to let some things settle down, but I'll be able to gather some more information on that. But yeah, I mean, do you think that, listen, I've been saying this. JJ McCarthy obviously helped win a championship at Michigan, but he was not even projected like, I want to say second or third round even before Jim Harbaugh said, oh yeah, I'd be taking him first overall. He's the top quarterback in the draft, blah, blah, blah. And then ever since he's said that, I feel like he's been projected to go into that first rounds. What do you think? Do you think that was...
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that really helped. I would imagine that helped tremendously. I would
Harbaugh
say,
got exactly what he wanted there.
yeah, another name I would say, what's Trey Lance? If Minnesota can't make like a JJ McCarthy, Drake May move, I would say Trey Lance might be like their backup option if they can't get to who they want there.
Now, me and you have been talking about Trey Lance to the Vikings since, like, I want to say before the season really even ended. It's something me and you have talked about off of podcast, off of spaces, just privately. Me and you have talked about that before. And the Cowboys though, didn't they pick up his 5th-year option?
They did, but I think that he could still be available for trade because the Cowboys are making cap space. So I do think that if the Vikings came in with a trade, they would be, I think they could do it, and I think Trey Lance was somebody that was at the top of their draft board. So it wouldn't shock me for a trade to happen there.
No, but that would mean the Vikings would have to pick up his 5th-year option amount, right?
Right, correct, correct.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I still like, but do you see them doing that as a backup? Like, would that be worth it as a backup quarterback?
I would see it as a backup. Then you'd have Trey Lance going against Sam Darnold in camp. But I do think that they will try to make a move for McCarthy or Drake May first. I think that's their backup plan. If things don't go right, things don't go right for them there, I could see that being their backup plan.
So after the draft, then.
Yeah, right. That's what
Gotcha.
I see.
Okay.
Or after the first round, if somebody already picks these two players.
You think a trade during the draft for Lance could happen?
Yes, yes, I do.
And that'd be exciting. Honestly, I think he could fit well in that system, and he'd get the chance he deserves there. But it's hard. It's still freaking hard for me to justify that San Francisco picked him 3rd overall.
Well, I mean, it's hard to justify for me that anybody got picked in the 2021 draft because, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is the only person that will be on his team starting 2024. That's crazy. Like out of the whole first round quarterbacks, he's going to be the only one that's going to be on his team. And most of the quarterbacks have been traded like for a 5th or 6th round pick. And Zach Wilson's likely not to get anything. He'll likely get released.
I mean, what did Fields get? A 6th round pick?
It could be a fourth, but sixth if you don't have.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's what Fields is worth, what the heck is freaking Zach Wilson worth?
Well,
Undrafted free agent,
yeah.
you
So
know?
Zach Wilson's going to be like he was the number 2 pick out of that draft, right behind Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, exactly.
Then
Yeah, you're right about that.
Trey Lance was 3, Justin Fields was 11, and Mac Jones was 15. And as of now, all 3 of those other players are back. All 4 of those players are going to be backup quarterbacks for 2024.
Yeah. Are you can you get a little closer to your mic?
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
definitely. No worries.
Starting to fade out a little bit, it sounds like.
Okay. Yeah. So, can you hear me okay now?
That's about the same. But it's okay. It's clear enough. It's clear enough.
Okay.
Um yeah, so what didn't Mac Jones, he got traded, is it to Jacksonville?
To Jacksonville. Yep. He's going to
So,
back up actually the first round pick, Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence, number
So you
1.
got 2 first round quarterbacks on the same team from the same year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Why do you think they targeted Mac Jones?
I think that they just wanted a backup to help him grow. I think that, but I think they tried to help him and do him a favor where he wanted to go, like they did Justin Fields. I think that's the biggest thing. They just
Yeah.
wanted to help these guys. Mac Jones is from the area. He's been a Jacksonville fan his whole life. He's from that area, so they just made him happy. Justin Fields wanted to pick a team that he had a chance he felt to grow in, to develop in, so he wanted to go to the Steelers. Uh, Trey Lance, I don't know if he had too much of a choice where he went, to be honest, but Trey Lance is somebody I do think that a quarterback needy team could go and try to trade for in the draft.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not sure anyone saw the Cowboys trading for Trey Lance,
No, no, I thought
considering how set in stone Jerry Jones is on Dak Prescott and the extension that he has. Like, I don't know. That one really didn't make any sense to me. And they have Cooper Rush there as well. So I don't think anybody saw that one coming. I'm not sure what his thought process was there.
yeah, you right. You're right. One of the other free agents we want to talk about real quick is Tre'Davious White. He's a good player when he's on the
Yeah.
field. He's just been injured a lot, right? Mike Garofalo said that he was visiting with the Rams and the Raiders was a scheduled visits. The 49ers have also gotten to the mix on him, by the way. So that's another team that they're not scheduled to visit, but they're showing
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah, when he is healthy, he's good. But I mean, it's been, I feel like years since I've seen his name as at the top of a leaderboards or something, you know? And it sucks because he's still a young player for the most part, and he's still really good. That Bills secondary has taken a huge hit. Poyer is gone. He signed a 1 year, like $2 million deal with the Miami Dolphins. Crazy market right now for safeties, dude.
And you still got Micah Hyde that's available, right?
Well, Micah Hyde, is he a free agent?
Right, yes. He's still available that nobody's signed. So, he's likely to move on to another team too.
All right, and something else I wanted to get into, because this is a crazy rumor, and we've seen a lot from this specific account and person lately. Antonio Brown, CT ESPN, he's posted, I don't even know if you want to give it attention, but he posted that Odell Beckham Jr. was signing with the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll be honest. I mean, I don't think it's far fetched.
Right? Which is why if he gets it right, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, you got sources." But like, I think anybody could have predicted that, right?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are definitely a favorite. I think I don't know. A few days ago, we posted some teams that Odell Beckham Jr. would be a good fit for, and I think the Chiefs were one of those teams. Right, I agree with them. I think they're a good fit for him. And I think there's some other teams that to watch, like the Chargers, the 49ers, because the Raiders. I think those are all teams to watch because he wants to be on the West Coast uh, It wouldn't shock me if he signs with the West Coast team. The Jets are another one. If they don't get Mike Williams, I wouldn't be surprised if Odell Beckham Jr. gets a visit there too.
You know, when it comes to the Jets, I know Mike Williams is visiting, but I would almost see them, because they were reportedly kind of in the trade market for Keenan Allen. Apparently it wasn't really like offers. It was just kind of calling to check in. But if there's so much better options, I feel like, than signing Odell Beckham Jr., who's probably demanding, $10 to $15 million at the least, because he got paid $18 million to play for the Ravens. T. Higgins, what about a T. Higgins trade market to the New York Jets?
I don't like T. Higgins to the Jets, but I mean anything can happen because I think Garrett Wilson's the number one there, so they're going to have to go and get like a two. That they're looking for a two. They're trying to trade the guy from Green Bay. Remember that Lazard that Aaron Rodgers brought in,
Yeah.
really, and he's on the trade block, so they're looking to move him. So he could end up going to
Which was a terrible signing in the first place. I've said it since. I'm a huge Green Bay fan. You know this.
Yes.
He can catch like a crazy, like a circus catch that you would never expect, a crazy jump ball, 50-50 jump ball. But then he can't catch a cold in an open route sometimes. It's 50-50 for him. And signing him to a 4-year, like $44 million, like paying him $11 million a year last year, and then he basically did next to nothing in production. It's just a horrible, horrible deal. I think regardless of quarterback, even if Aaron Rodgers was healthy last year, I don't think Lazard would have performed all that. Like, it's just a silly contract in the first place. And now they got to ditch that contract and they're not going to get what they spent on him in return.
Definitely. And we're going to try to get through as many rumors as we can for you guys for sure. We got J.D. Von Clowney looking at the Jets, looking at the Panthers. We got Chase Young looking at the Ravens, Titans, Panthers is 3 teams that he's been mentioned with. The Saints is another team that he's been mentioned with as well. So we got definitely a lot of rumors still surrounding some good players out there. And the free agent board is still got some good players on there, as we just talked about. Stephon Gilmore, good example. Cowboys, Commanders are in the market for him. Justin Simmons, Titans are really on him. So those are some teams.
You'd be getting like an identical kind of output and return when you lost Kevin Byard. Exactly. Like, I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Justin Simmons is better, but like that's the kind of player and athleticism you'd be getting. Do me a favor, see if you can go to your spaces on your desktop and see if you can join your own space from there, and then see if it'll allow you to speak on that.
Sure.
If you don't mind, sorry. I don't know if that'll work. I've never actually tried that. We'll see, though. And then you might have to approve if you can request to speak on there. You might have to like approve it on your phone. I don't know. I don't know if that'll work. It's just a thought. But yeah, Justin Simmons to the Titans. That seems like a high possibility. And I don't know. I think he's a better player than Kevin Byard was. And I think he's like a year or two younger, not that much younger, but I mean, really just identical to me in production. Something else with the Titans, many people were wanting the Titans to trade for T. Higgins after being tagged. And I was thinking to myself, like, that's not going to happen. They have a guy, like a big-bodied guy there, and Treylon Burks that they really like, who, if can stay healthy, is going to be really solid. So I didn't see T. Higgins to the Titans as a true fit. And then they went and signed. Oh man, who did they sign? I forget. Let's see. Join as co-host. Maybe I can co-host this. Yeah. Okay. Now it says I'm co-hosting the space. That's good. Who did the Titans sign at wide receiver? I would have to. Gosh, it's been so many signings. Depth chart. Are you there?
Hey Tanner, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great, great.
How's that working?
Working pretty good, working pretty good. We moved over to the desktop. A
Yay!
little bit of connection with the phone, but glad to be back with you guys.
Oh yeah, no. Connection was fine. It was just kind of like in and out, like a little spacey. But we're space. We're good though, man. I appreciate you doing that. So it looks like if you start it from the phone, you can just join it from the desktop. That's nice and easy. Yeah, so I thought the Titans had signed a free agent wide receiver, or am I just imagining that? Oh, it was Calvin
Yeah,
Ridley.
the Titans signed Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 4 years, what, $98 million, something, $92
Right,
million?
right. He wanted to go back to Jacksonville, but he really decided that he went with the Titans because of the years on the deal.
Yeah, what do you think on that? Like, people were mad at the Jaguars for not re-signing him, but if that's the kind of money he was wanting, like, you can have him for that. I think
Yeah,
the dude,
Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins, though, that's a pretty formidable tandem to have to defend.
yeah, and I know they have, trust me, I know they have a new offense, a new head coach. But like, and they obviously have Will Levis there, who is more of a gunslinging quarterback than Tannehill. So they could be switching to that, like kind of pass heavy offense. But like, to me, they're just not a vertical threat, dude. They haven't been for like over a decade. Just my opinion. I think Will Levis and obviously Brian Callahan can change that. If there's going to be anyone to change it, it's those two. But I
Yeah, I
just
think
don't
Will
know.
Levis is the difference, Tanner, to make a big change there. I really do. I think Will Levis could be the guy because he really involved DeAndre Hopkins and did some big things there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but DeAndre Hopkins, was he turning 32, 33? He used to be the
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
At,
He still had 1,000 yard season last year. I think that's something to mention. Calvin
mhm.
really had 1,000 yard season, so they're going to have two 1,000 yard wide receivers on their team to start the year.
And then Traylon Burks, if he can stay healthy.
Traylon Burks, man, I'll tell you what. Like I know you're a big fan of him being in Arkansas,
Yeah.
but I just got the feeling that he could be somebody that might be moved.
I feel you. No, I trust me. As much as it pains me to say it, man, it just hasn't been there. It hasn't been working for him at all.
Maybe he
Just
just needs a fresh start. But, I mean, there are a lot of players that happens with, right? There's
yeah,
a ton of players that happens with that they just need a fresh start, and I think that he could just be one of them.
that's a high possibility. Now, if he is moved on a rookie contract, but it is a first round contract, so it's not like he's making chump change. Where do you
Right,
think
right. It
would
would
be
be a team
interested?
that would maybe missed out in the first round of a draft, wide receiver or wide receiver that they liked. I mean, normally that's what happens in the draft that somebody misses out on somebody they had high on their board, and then they go and try to make that trade.
Who do you think that could be?
Um, I tell you what, I mean, a team once shot me the Giants if they can't get up there, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
And I've heard JJ McCarthy to New York Giants rumors as well.
yeah. I
What do you
kind of
think?
like don't give too much to that, to be honest.
Hmm.
Uh, I would just say that looking at that Tanner, I would say with Drew Lock there and Daniel Jones, I don't see them going with the rookie quarterback.
Oh, that's right. They
Like high,
signed Drew
very
Lock.
high one, I'll just say.
Yeah, they did sign Drew Lock. Now,
Yeah,
I've
Drew
also
Lock actually played well when he went in there for Geno Smith. So Drew Lock, man, could end up being a really good player. Like if Daniel Jones starts fading down.
and what an emotional game that was too. That interview for after that win, dude. You felt for Drew Lock there, and I think he kind of shined. He kind of got that spotlight time for America there, and got America on his side. So I think everyone's like, Oh, wait. Oh, breaking. Saints are expected to sign Chase Young.
There you go. We just talked about it, right?
Wow.
There you go. He was one of the teams we just talked about.
Wow. Defensive end Chase Young visits the Saints today with an intention to sign the team if everything works out.
There you go.
Multiple reports already on it.
There you
That's
go, man.
insane.
That was something we was talking about. He was one of the players that was very high out there. You know, he had a visit with Carolina, and
Yep.
then you're looking at that.
Wow. Do you think that's going to be a good fit for him?
I think it could. I think it definitely could with Dennis Allen there. I think it could be a good fit. One of the other ones, Michael Thomas, that was released from the Saints. There's a lot of links toward him if T. Higgins is moved. A lot of links toward him to the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Lions, are three teams that were set by CBS Sports that were named to watch for him.
What do you think of, speaking of Saints, what do you think of recently released Michael Thomas, or I'm sorry, free agent? I don't know if he was released. Yeah. Yeah, Michael Thomas.
I'm going to say my favorite for him to sign is Detroit. That's going to be my favorite.
Whoa.
I like the Dolphins and the Bengals as a hot second.
You know, the Bengals could definitely use a guy with his, I would say, ceiling. Because obviously they're going to be losing obviously Tyler Boyd is gone. But they could be trading T. Higgins. That would leave them with that Irwin.
And then T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd would be interested, like if they trade T. Higgins, if Tyler Boyd would be interested coming back to the Bengals. I was thinking about that last night. You know, even if they lose him, but you know, Michael Thomas would be a good addition as well to the Bengals as the opposite of Jamar Chase. So I think that could be something that they could really look at, or they could look for maybe another player to kind of take the top off the offense, the defense rather, and look for a speedster.
Okay, what do you think of this? Okay. You got, imagine this. Tyler Boyd signs possibly with the Pittsburgh Steelers or another team. He's gone, okay? Just imagine he's gone. Then they trade T. Higgins after tagging him. And then there's reports that Justin Jefferson is waiting to sign an extension to see how the quarterback situation pans out and how the offseason pans out for them. But reality, I think he's probably second guessing. Do you think there's a potential trade? Obviously, the team's going to deny it. A GM is always going to deny a trade. They're never going to tell the media exactly what they want to hear.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So do you think there's a potential trade? And do you see possibly, what is the percent chance, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow reunion?
Man, if they did, it would be crazy. Like, if it happened, I just don't know if the money's there to go around for that. You know, I would imagine if the money was out there, they would sign T. Higgins, right?
Yeah, you'd think. I mean, like, why not re-sign T. Higgins? But man, if they could make that work, like, what do you think the percent chance of that is?
I would say, I'm going to say less than 5.
Oh, no. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah.
It's realistic. You're being realistic, and that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be hard. Justin Jefferson wants to be a number one. Jamar Chase wants to be a number one.
That's right.
T. Higgins wants to be a number one. So, I mean, when you're looking at that, like, that's probably the big reason why T. Higgins was traded. It's because he wants to be a number one wide receiver.
Yeah, he does. I get it. I get it. I don't blame him. But, like, God, I mean, but you don't think either receiver would, like, maybe take a team-friendly deal to play with each other again?
I would imagine they would, right? But then, I could imagine that them they played at the same team with LSU with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I could imagine that, they're both going to be wanting the ball, and that might end up being a problem later on.
Was it a problem at LSU?
I don't think so, but it's a different ballgame when you're in college and you're the pros, and you're trying to make you some more money on some incentives.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think it would be really cool to see that. And I always wanted Thaddeus Moss to excel there. I know he ended up kind of off and on the practice squad, and I think he's in the CFL now or UFL. But man, I always wanted him to work out there. And they'd have like half of the offense from the 2019 championship team. That would have been so
Right,
cool.
right, yeah. I mean, I know the Bengals try to give him a chance there, but it just didn't seem to work out. Maybe he just needs a little bit of, refining. We've seen a lot of people come and do that and do great. Man, Zach. One of the other things I'll tell you that there
Mhm.
are some little interest that I've heard that the 49ers might have as a third quarterback for Zach Wilson.
Wait, hold up. Say that again.
There's some interest that the 49ers might have in
Yeah.
Zach Wilson as like a project quarterback.
I mean, hey, dude, they took the chance on Sam Darnold, which everyone thought was whack. Doing the same thing with Zach Wilson. I mean, come on. I mean, I could see it. If anyone's going to excel in that offense, it could be a guy like Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I see that, man. I definitely do. I'm going to talk about the Bears really quick, and like Caleb Williams might be. Listen, even though he is a generational talent, if he gets picked by the Bears, he might be in the best quarterback rookie situation of anybody in NFL history to have Keenan Allen and DJ Moore.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the best in history. Keenan Allen's going to be, 32 years old heading into the season?
Yeah, just come up about 15, 16, 1700 yards a season. I'm somewhere around there.
He had a great season, probably the best of his career, and only
DJ
played in
Moore had the
13
best of
games.
his career.
He only played in 13 games. DJ Moore did fantastic with, the amount he was targeted and the amount of receptions he got. But I don't know. Like, the Bears are just not a quarterback-friendly team. Like, they're just like the freaking franchise record holder for stuff there is Trubisky. I mean, how sold on that are you?
Yeah, I do think it will take some time, to get that going. But Caleb Williams, man, like they got to take a chance on a quarterback, where that whether that's Caleb Williams or like looking at, let's say, like a lot of people think as well that could be Jaden Daniels, right? But I don't see them not picking Caleb Williams, right? I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I could see, like, we all know that they have to. They're kind of forced their hand here, and everyone's expecting them to take Caleb Williams, even though as I have Jaden Daniels a little bit over him in this year's draft. But obviously, I think both quarterbacks are going to have a fair chance to succeed. Who's your top three quarterbacks in this draft? What do you realistically see the order going as?
I see Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May.
Drake May. You don't see J.J. McCarthy jumping up like all the smoke is saying?
I don't. I don't. I see Drake Mays being that third quarterback. I see J.J. McCarthy being that fourth one.
All right. I like it. But it sounds the most accurate and realistic.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy. He could surprise some people. It just depends how well a team likes him, right? When they meet him and stuff. But I would imagine the relationship that McCown has with Drake May, I think that could be something to monitor.
Yeah, it really could be. And like I said, I'll get more information on all of that as soon as I can. But hopefully it should be enough to put out there and actually make a difference,
Yeah, I know Nick Bosa really wanted Chase Young to sign back. He really implored the Niners to really try to sign Chase Young back, but it seemed that um, Brandon Staley, I think Scott, when he joined the team, they went and got Leonard Floyd, who was in Brandon Staley's defense.
in Los Angeles.
Yep. So, that was something to look at, and They look to adding some. They've got some other people that they could potentially add as well.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Did you see the amount that Chase Young is making? It's a fully guaranteed 1 year, $13 million.
Yeah, this is kind of like for Chase Young, a more of a 1 year deal where he can go and try to make that money, right, and make him some money going forward somewhere.
I just feel
Whether
like
it's with the
that's a lot
Saints
of
or
money
another
for
team,
someone
right?
who hasn't.
Really, this is what he had to do is go and sign a really strong 1 year deal. He can then work on his game, work on that situation to see if he can work out a long-term deal. Because some people still scared about his injuries.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, I think he was coming on toward the Super Bowl, though. I think he was doing some really good things there toward the Super Bowl and really coming on there. I'll be honest with you. I think the Texans has had the best free agency of any team, though.
Texans have usually been pretty good. Now, for the last 5 or 6 years, the Texans have been notorious for signing veterans to these 1 and 2 year deals. Just they kind of renting these players.
Danielle Hunter was a steal.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and he's going to even make their rookie Will Anderson. He's going to make him even better because now you can't double team Will Anderson no more.
Yeah, and he had a fantastic rookie season, didn't he?
Right, and then they went and got Al Shazier, who played with the 49ers under D'Amico Ryans. Is going to be in the middle, which he knows the defense in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So you go and get that. They was in the market for Eric Armstead before he signed for Jacksonville. It was interesting. Trent Baalke drafted Eric Armstead for the 49ers, and then he went and signed him but he went and signed him to the Jaguars this offseason.
Wow. So do you think that the Texans and CJ Stroud are going to continue that trend? I mean, that they set last year?
I do. I think Tank Dell's just going to get better and better.
God, he
And
was
I
good.
do think they got Michi. He's a young player. He dealt with cancer. I mean, he's just slowly coming along. He's a good player. You
Mm-hmm.
got Nico Collins. They tried to trade for Keenan Allen. Deal couldn't be made. But, the Texans might even look at adding another wide receiver in there, like a Michael Gallup or
Yeah.
somebody like that. They got really good tight end. They got a really good offensive line. Got a really good defense.
They signed Schultz, the tight end, to that 3 year deal, I think.
Yeah, and reportedly they're interested in Xavier Howard as well.
The corner, huh?
So imagine they lock down that corner position as well. I mean, the Texans are on the rise for sure.
Wow. Okay. You think because they have that rookie? Well, he's not a rookie anymore, is he? Stingley? Or is that his second year in the
Derek
league?
Stingley a couple years ago, he was one of the best cornerbacks at LSU.
Yep.
So a lot of talent. Put Xavier Howard on that other side, they would be very explosive there. And then they got two really good safeties already with
Yeah.
Jimmy Ward, and who knows that defense like the back of his hand, right?
For
They
sure.
have Jimmy Ward and also Jalen Petrie. So I mean, the Texans are pretty stout, man. They're a pretty stout
They're
team.
young, and I mean, for as many veterans that have been signed to like 1 and 2 year deals, they're still young when it comes to like those key positions.
And also, Tanner, there's still some good free agents out there, right? Like there are a lot of teams that, you know, they could still make some good signings out there. A lot of good situations. You got J.K. Dobbins, who's the top running back, not signed out there. Um, he could end up. A lot of people think he might go back to the Ravens, but who knows at this point on that. They went and got Derrick Henry. They do have another young running back that had an injury that they're bringing back. So I mean, it'll be very interesting to see what might happen there with some of the other players. Now we're in our second tier of free agency now, so the signings will slow down a little bit, but it will be interesting to see, though, with some of these names. There's still some very, very good names out there that I really like. I even like Calais Campbell that played for Atlanta, played for Baltimore. I could see him making an impact on a team.
Yeah, he's always been a heck of a player. I think he's going to do just fine. Now, I have probably 15 minutes max left to be able to chat. Is there key free agents or rumors you wanted to talk about and get out of the way?
Yeah, I'm looking at, like, when you're looking at Mike Williams, I know the Jets are definitely a favorite. We'll go back to him real quick. The Jets are definitely a favorite, but I wouldn't mark down him not liking Carolina because a lot of these players like returning home, right? So wouldn't shock me there. I like Gilmore to the Cowboys. I think Commanders could be there as well. Um, I think looking at one of the other offensive linemen, Trent Brown's not signed. He could actually go to a team that ends up anchoring one of their sides. Dory Jackson, a really good corner for the Giants. I think you could look for the Raiders maybe on him. I think that could be somebody to watch. Ryan Tannehill, one of the quarterbacks out there, I think he could be a quarterback that signs a deal with a team that could compete for maybe not a job, but maybe at least be a backup. Uh, you got Micah Hyde, as we talked about. I think he could be a good safety for a lot of teams. Tre'Davious White, Raiders, Rams. It seems two teams that's really interested in him. So I mean, there's definitely still some players out there that can make an impact on some teams, for sure.
I think I've always loved Tre'Davious White. Where is like your most logical destination for him?
Yeah, Tre'Davious White. I think definitely. I could see. I could really see him going to the Raiders. I know the Raiders are looking for that extra corner. I could really look at that. I think they're definitely in the market for that cornerback position. So it'll be interesting to see what the Raiders do.
Oh wow! Guess what?
What?
I just got your Tanner. Your NFL communications registration request has been approved by the NFL. Woo! So I am now approved through the NFL as far as communications go. That's awesome.
Well, awesome job, Tanner.
Well,
You've
thank
been
you.
doing a big thing, man, this off season. Definitely doing some big things with the off season. With definitely meeting with Expense Sports, with the agents. Growing
Oh,
every day. We're proud
I've
to
been
have you
trying
as
for
a
over a
partnership there
year
with us
to
as
get
well.
approved. Golly, that's a huge weight off my shoulders there. Woo! Sorry, had to brag a little bit on that.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a good one. You can't go wrong there for sure. I want to give a shout out to ESPN Radio as well. They had me on twice during the free agency
Heck
period,
yeah.
so I'm really want to say thank them for that. To go over their free agency, uh, the names of free agents and where they go. We actually got a couple signings actually when we was on the show. That came through. So it was pretty cool, and we're really glad that they partnered up with us to do that, and we're really happy to have that partnership and plan on going back again there and talking with them. But yeah, there's something that we were able to definitely hit home on a lot of the prediction free agents that we have, like a lot of the links of the guys. They were naming a lot of the links that we hit on, and we're very appreciative of them like giving us that respect.
Man, that's awesome. You're gonna have to link me to that. I want to listen because
Sure.
that is fantastic.
Yeah, that was definitely a good thing. I really think it's a great partnership. I think the we're definitely Tanner's growing. NFL rumors are growing. Doing some definitely big things there, and look to do some bigger things here as we keep on going into off season. Um, Definitely, I think. Also want to shout out Jay Sieg. I also want to shout out Fantasy Patrick Pucci Show. we do a show with them every week, a space
Mm-hmm.
where we break down the free agents on a weekly show. They're great guys, big fantasy guys. They're the number one place to go for your fantasy lineups, your dynasty off season, your fantasy if you're into your fantasy games as well. Uh, they're definitely a place to go. We partner with them all year doing the fantasy sits and starts. We normally had 100,000 impressions normally and on Sunday mornings with those guys. Giving it the outlook on the fantasy. So we're very, very thankful for that relationship with them, and we've been truly blessed in every avenue from everybody that really reach out to us and partner with NFL Rumors through the years, and as we keep growing, we're very excited with everything that we're doing here.
Absolutely. It's been a building process. I think I've known you since you had like 26K followers, something around that. And just in the last, 2 years, man, you've grown to over 300,000, which is insane. One of the biggest, most fastest growing football accounts across the whole platform. So, I mean, just shout out to you for continuing to grind.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Couldn't do it without all the awesome followers, all the awesome listeners, and couldn't do it without them for sure. Yep. And during free agency, we were one of the top 3 free agency places. Despite you have people like Rap Sheet, you have people like Adam Schefter, that's well ingrained
Mm-hmm.
right in these things. But being some of the other ones, like when you look at that tier, we were one of the top 3 places that people went for their free agency news, and we're very thankful for that. We had over 160 million impressions every 2 weeks.
That's a lot of impressions, man. And when you have people from those big companies DMing you asking how or why you're taking so many impressions, that's good.
Yeah, sometimes we do, right? We have people being like, "Hey, man, you're getting more impressions than I'm sitting here at the Senior Bowl."
Yep.
And I'm like, a lot of times we just report the things that we're seeing, the multiple reports. You just try to get the news out there for everybody, and just to be the place that everybody could come to find their NFL fix, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
before we even start doing this, that's kind of what I did. I always looked for my NFL fix, somebody that I wanted to go to, that I wanted to interact with, and I never did like. I'll be honest. There's a lot of accounts that I always try to interact with, but never would interact with me. And it made me have a sour taste in my mouth a little bit, and
Yeah.
I would maybe go look for somebody else to interact with, right? And it was always a good thing. We try our best to interact with people as much as we can. I know sometimes we can't get to everybody, which is disappointing, but like we definitely try to answer as much as we can. JC and Patrick will tell you that we've done a lot. We've tried to do a lot there with their show, and when people reach out to us and ask questions and things like that, we try to make sure we interacted with everybody as well. And I'm really glad that what we're able to do here, and
Mm-hmm.
thankful for the great off season, and we're going to keep it going. Keep it
Yeah.
going through the off season. Keep it going through the draft. Been talking to scouts like crazy for the draft, right? I'll never
Mm-hmm.
forget a couple years ago, we reported Jamar Chase was going to pick by the Bengals. Man, we got absolutely onslaughted. Like, that's never going to happen. Fake
I
news,
think you
fake news.
had on that
Then all
draft,
of a
you had
sudden,
5 out of 6, correct? 5 out of the top 6 draft
yeah,
picks.
then
Yep.
all of a sudden, Jamar Chase was picked by the Bengals, right?
Yep.
Scout was definitely right. You know what I mean? Scout was definitely right.
Yep. Once again, guys, we're grateful. Stick around. We're gonna try to get together. I know our schedules are kind of flip-flopped, mine and Rumors here, so it's hard for us to get together and find time to actually record these episodes. But we really do hope you guys are listening and actually making it this far into the episode. And it looks like we still have like freaking 30 people in here listening. So we're grateful for you guys. Make sure you check us out on all audio platforms. We're up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on iHeartRadio, all that good stuff, you guys. We have whole season 1 and all of season 2. If you have not listened to it, go and check us out over there. Make sure you guys subscribe to us on YouTube as well. All you got to do is Google NFL Rumors and our podcast will pop up. I promise you that. Stick around all off season because we're going to be talking off season news.
Definitely. And we've had Gary Myers on. We talked to him about a lot of the stuff, like a lot of his books, a lot of the things like inner workings of the Giants and a lot of their players, and he had some great insight on Bill Belichick as well. We've had a lot of the young rookies that Tanner was able to get on with us. A lot of the rookies that were going to be drafted, and we talked to this season. We talked to in previous seasons. People was going to be drafted and things of that nature. And I know they're, be something that you might be interested in listening to. But we're planning on keep on doing that, right? And keep on working that. Tanner's what I call him. He's the agent guy. He's the guy that talks to our agents, and he gets these young players on there for us to talk to. So
and expect more. Expect more coming this season, guys. So I'm probably going to be after the draft. A lot of these guys are busy with pro days, busy at the combine, Senior Bowl, pro days, then the draft, and then hype after the draft. So it might be post-draft time. I'm going to see what I can do about getting us some names on the show, some veterans on the show, and just having fun talking football. We try to make sure everyone feels relaxed when they come on the show, and when we just talk, man. That's all we do.
Yeah,
We're not gonna.
What we kind of do. Just make it a talk. Make it less feel like an interview so much. And
they get interviewed for the rest of their lives.
These players on, and let them pitch their case for teams that's listening and things like that. Because there are a lot of agents that reach out to us, and
absolutely,
we try to get some stuff going for them. And so we want to promote the players, and hopefully we can help them in their process and pay it forward. To help them, make their dreams come true. They've done all the work, they've done everything, and maybe we could just put our little share on, just helping them get their name even out there even more.
Absolutely. Anything you want to wrap it up with, my man?
Nothing I have besides I appreciate everybody. We're going to keep on giving you all the rumors and news. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Make sure you're following us. We definitely appreciate you. We've got some giveaways coming up we're going to be doing, so make sure you check that out, especially when we get some jerseys of some of the free agents that sign. When we get a hold of a few of those, we're going to be giving some of those away so that you can re-up your jersey collection because of all the movements that people do. We're going to do a couple giveaways to kind of pay it forward for everybody, and we appreciate everybody. Couldn't do it without Tanner Pfeiffer. He's the dude. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I appreciate everybody. I for sure do.
If you guys want to subscribe to our podcast, I'm going to comment it right below the link to this Twitter space. So I'm going to comment it
by
there.
By the way, guys, listen, before you go follow Tanner Pfeiffer. Get this dude to 10K. He deserves it, right? Get this dude to 10K. This guy really deserves it, right? He puts in the work. It's very hard sometimes, just like I started, getting there, getting up, go and subscribe to this guy, go and follow this guy, get him up to 10K. You know what I mean? He deserves it.
I appreciate that, man. It's been about 5 years grinding for me, and I appreciate that shout out. Couldn't do anything I'm doing and have the motivation to continue doing it without NFL Rumors here. He's been a friend throughout the whole process, so I'm grateful, guys. We are grateful for everyone listening. Make sure you go and check out the comments under this Twitter space, as I have posted our podcast on there, and go follow us on all platforms. And like I said, we got some big guests coming on the show this off season. You can plan on that. And we're just much love to you guys. Thank you so much for listening, y'all.
Hey, have a good one, guys.